welcome. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om, Namaste. Welcome to session 32 of the Sundara Kandam learning series. Today, we continue the last few shlokas of Sargam 6, which were remaining. In this 6th Sarga, we find that he has entered, Hanuman has entered the inner palace, the inner part of the city, which belongs to Ravana. He's describing the palace quarters region there. So let's go to shloka number 38. Jambunadamayanyeva shayananyasanani cha shayanani asanani, joining together, shayananyasanani cha bhajanani cha shubhrani ददर्श हरियूथपः जाम्बूनदमयान्येव शयनान्यासनानि च जाम्बूनदमयान्येव शयनान्यासनानि च भाजनानि च शुभ्राणि ददर्श हरियूथपः भाजनानि च शुभ्राणि ददर्श हरियूथपः. So now he has seen the palace, which is golden in appearance, emanating rays as if gold. It is not only the golden palace, but it was the effulgence of Ravana's bala also that seemed to make it glow. This is what we have seen. Now, as he sees into the palace area, what does he see? Hariyuthapaha, the leader of the monkey troops. Jambunada mayani eva shayanani. You should imagine now he is speaking through the windows. He has not entered the palace area. He is only peeking through the windows. The windows are large, inviting. Okay, the breeze can go in. So can a curious monkey. So the curious monkey, Hanuman, is now spying from outside the windows. He's not entered yet. Okay, so what is he seeing? Jambunada mayani eva. Only made of gold. Shayanani, beds. Asanani, seats. Mukhyani bhajanani, important vessels. Okay, this includes eating, cooking vessels. Dadarsha, he saw. So basically, everything was gilded. They all had a go. The place itself was glowing with the effulgence of the golden exterior and with the effulgence of Ravana's bala. And inside also, everything was glowing. Everything appeared gilded to him. So beds were gold, seats were gold, the vessels were all gold. Shubhrani means pure, clean. Okay. Bhajanani shubhrani cha dadarsha. Hariyuthapaha. Dadarsha, he saw. So very clean and nice looking, golden looking vessels he saw. Okay, I'm moving forward. Madhvasavakritakledam manibhajana sankulam Manoramama sambadham kubera bhavanam yatha madhvasavakritakledam manibhajana sankulam Manoramama sambadham kubera bhavanam yatha Manoramama sambadham kubera bhavanam yatha. Together. Madhvasavakritakledam manibhajana sankulam Manoramama sambadham kubera bhavanam yatha. Let's see the next two more shlokas also and see the meaning together. No puranam cha ghoshena kanchinam ninadena cha mridangatala ghoshaischa मृदङ्गतालघोषैश्च घोषवद्भिर्विनादितम् घोषवद्भिर्विनादितम् नूपुराणां च घोषेण काञ्चीनां निनदेन च नूपुराणां च घोषेण काञ्चीनां निनदेन च मृदङ्गतालघोषैश्च घोषवद्भिर्विनादितम् मृदङ्गतालघोषैश्च घोषवद्भिर्विनादितम् together नूपुराणां च घोषेण काञ्चीनां निनदेन च मृदङ्गतालघोषैश्च घोषवद्भिर्विनादितम् प्रासादसङ्घातयुतम् प्रासादसङ्घातयुतम् स्त्रीरत्नशतसङ्कुलम् स्त्रीरत्नशतसङ्कुलम् सव्यूढकक्ष्यं हनुमान् सव्यूढकक्ष्यं हनुमान् प्रविवेश महागृहम् प्रविवेश महागृहम् प्रासादसङ्घातयुतम् स्त्रीरत्नशतसङ्कुलम् प्रासादसङ्घातयुतम् स्त्रीरत्नशतसङ्कुलम् सव्यूढकक्ष्यं हनुमान् प्रविवेश महागृहम् सव्यूढकक्ष्यं हनुमान् प्रविवेश महागृहम् together प्रासादसङ्घातयुतम् श्रीरत्नशतसङ्कुलम् सव्यूढकक्ष्यं हनुमान् प्रविवेश महागृहम्. 3 shlokas together. Verb here is pravivesha. Wish, to enter. Pra is the prefix. Entered well. Okay, so he is entered. He entered. Pravivesha litlakara. He entered what? Mahagriham pravivesha. Mahagriham, the great house, he entered. Let's see the meaning. Madhvasavakrita kledam. Madhu asava krita kledam. Okay. So you should imagine. Now again, this is from outside that we see. Madhu means honey or liquor. Asava, goblets. Madhvasava, krita, done. Kledam, damage. So essentially what is there? People have been drinking. They have been leaving goblets of wine, half-empty goblets of wine, some of which have toppled over and spilt over onto the carpets. So the place, the carpets are looking drenched with leftover wine. Then, Mani Bhajana Sankulam. Mani Bhajana. Bhajana, as we've seen earlier, vessels. Mani Sankulam, encrusted with jewels. So there are many, expensive vessels scattered here and there, presumably holding food particles, food items, and they are all encrusted with jewels, golden. Okay. Manoramam Asambadham Kubera Bhavanam Yatha. All this is not description of the vessels. These are now descriptions of the Mahagriham, of the house. Manoramam, very captivating. Asambadham, spacious. If you walk, you won't trip over the chair or a sofa. Spacious, Asambadham. Kubera Bhavanam Yatha. Like Kubera's house, Ravana's house appeared. And then, Ghoshena Kanchinam Ninadena, Nupuranam Ghoshena Cha Kanchinam Ninadena. Nupuranam, anklets, of anklets, Ghoshena, with the sound of. So with the sound of anklets, Kanchina Ninadena. Kanchi refers to the waist belt. The Kanchi or the waist belt has a lot of bells studded on it. Those bells will jingle as the people wearing them move. So Ninadena, with the sound of the jingling bells on the waist belts, okay, worn by presumably ladies. So this is sounds which he hears as he peeks into the palace. These sounds he is hearing. Mridanga tala ghoshaischa, with the sounds of mridanga and other percussion instruments. Ghoshavatbihi, with all these sounds, Ninaditam. It was Vinaditam. It was resonating. The place was resounding with resonating with the sounds of ornaments and musical instruments. Overall, a very auspicious appearance, despite the spilled wine. Okay, then Prasada Sanghata Yutam. This Ravana's palace was not just one building. Okay, Prasada means mansion. Sanghata means collection of mansions. So he presumably had a mansion for sleeping. He presumably had a mansion for all of his the recreation rooms. I hope he had a big library and armory houses and everything which was interesting and meant for his entertainment. Probably he had mansions for those, and he probably had mansions for his staff. He probably had mansions for all the women in his antapura. So that way he probably had a lot of mansions. So all the mansions, prasada, sanghata, yutam, endowed with rows of mansions. And we should always have this three, Sri Ratna. Sri Ratna Shata Sankulam, filled with hundreds of women, exquisite women, hundreds of women who were like jewels. Okay, so hundreds of exquisite women were there. So Vyuda Kakshyam, they were well laid apartments. Okay, Mahagraham, that lofty palace, Hanuman Pravesha, Hanuman entered. Okay, so now only at the end of 6th Sarga, we find Hanuman stepping into the row of mansions which make up Hanuman's palace. Ravana's palace. Okay, so with this we finish the Sarga. Iti Srimad Ramayane Sundarakande Shashtamah Sargaha, Shashta Sargaha. So we start the next one. Atha Saptamah Sargaha Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam. So please open to the next sarga in your books. Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsha. Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsha. Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam. Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam. Yatha Mahat Pravrishimeghjalam. Yatha Mahat Pravrishimeghjalam. Vidyutpinadham Savihangajalam. Vidyutpinadham Savihangajalam. Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsha. Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam. Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsha. Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam. Yatha Mahat Pravrishimeghjalam. Vidyutpinadham Savihangajalam. Yatha Mahat Pravrishimeghjalam. Vidyutpinadham Savihangajalam. Together. Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsha. Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam. Yatha Mahat Pravrishimeghjalam. Vidyutpinadham Savihangajalam. Okay, first shloka only. There is a lot of poetry in the shloka. So let's do the Anvaya slowly and clearly. Saha Balavan. He, the mighty Hanuman. Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam. Okay. Vyasakta, covered with Vaidurya stones. Suvarna, gold. Jala could mean golden lattices, golden latticed windows. So when you're entering a collection of houses, it is a Veshmajalam. Veshmajalam refers to group of houses. We just saw in the previous Sarga, last shloka was, it was made up of prasada sanghata. It is a sanghata yukta. So it has many buildings. So Veshmajalam also means the same thing. Veshma means palace, Jala means collection. So this word, Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam, is an adjective for Veshmajalam. So, rows of houses possessing latticed windows encrusted with Vaidurya or cat's eye and gold is the meaning. Okay, this is what he sees. He compares it to something. Pravrishi. Pravrishi means what? Pravrit is the word which means rainy season. Okay, so in the rainy season, Vidyut Pinadham Savihangajalam Mahat Meghajalam Iva. Not even Iva. There is no Iva usage, which is special. I'll explain why. So this is being compared. The houses are being compared to a Meghajala. What does Meghajala mean? Meghajala means groups of clouds. Many clouds in the sky, Meghajala. Group of clouds. What kind of group of clouds? In the rainy season, Vidyut Pinadham. Shining with streaks of lightning. Vidyut means lightning. So the clouds are shining with streaks of lightning. Savihangajalam. So imagine dark, heavy rain clouds, bright silver lightning streaks, flashed with white birds. Vihangajalam. The wings of those birds you can see. So how will it look? Gray, silver, white. It will shine. Correct? In the same way, the house was shining. Savihangajalam means with flocks of birds. Mahatmegajalam, Veshmajalam Dadarsha. So like this, like a big mass of clouds, he saw the large row of houses, shining like clouds in the rainy season, streaked with lightning and with flying birds. What kind of houses were they? The houses were having windows, golden latticed windows studded with Vaidurya and Suvarna. Here, if you notice, especially for those who are learning Sanskrit, one important point that you should notice, the obvious comparative Iva is missing. Correct? You don't see a word Iva here. What do you see? Veshmajalam, Meghajalam, Dadarsha. Meghajalam directly equal to Veshmajalam. This is an Alankara called Rupaka Alankara, where there is no overt usage of the Upama Vakya. Okay? So, Upama Shabda. Instead, there is direct comparison made. So, this is a Rupaka Alankara example. I hope the meaning of the shloka also is clear. Okay. Ask me, Varshaji, ask.
Ma'am, but this word yatha is there, no? So like.
Where is Yatha Mahat? Aha. Yatha, like. In our text, we have Yatha, no? Yatha.
Mahat is there, Nandini.
Yatha Mahat is there. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But is usually Yatha used as an indicator of Upama, or is it only for Yatha, Iva can be used? So I stand corrected. Then you can take it as normal Upama Alankara only. This Alankara is Upama Alankara, not Rupaka Alankara. Thank you so much for pointing out. Yatha would be a comparative, and therefore it is an example of Upama Alankara. Thank you. I did not notice the Yatha when I wrote the Anvaya. Okay, so now we will go to the next shloka. निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुधचापशालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुधचापशालाः मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशालाः मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला ददर्श वेश्मादृषु चन्द्रशालाः ददर्श वेश्मादृषु चन्द्रशालाः निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुध चापशालाः निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुधचापशालाः मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशालाः ददर्श वेश्मादृषु चन्द्रशालाः मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशालाः ददर्श वेश्मादृषु चन्द्रशालाः टुगेदर निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुध चापशालाः मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला ददर्श वेश्मादृषु चन्द्रशालाः निवेशनान् ददर्श is the verb. What did he see? Of the great houses. Niveshananam. Of the houses. Vividhaha shalaha. Each of those houses had many shala. Shala could be an assembly room. Shala could be a receiving hall. It could be a darbar room. It could be any kind of a gathering place. Pradhana shankha yudha chapa shalaha. Pradhana, principal. Shankha yudha. Shankha, conches, ayudha, weapons, chapa, bows, armory houses of conches, weapons, and bows. He saw principal armory houses. He saw manoharaha cha api, beautiful, captivating also. Veshmadrishu punaha, again at the top of each of these houses. Vishalaha, Chandrashalaha, spacious terraces. Chandrashala is a unique name for a terrace. Shala, as we saw, is a large gathering space. Chandrashala is a space where the people go to enjoy the moon. So what is the space where you go to enjoy the moon? The terrace, the open ceilinged terrace space. That is why we have the word Veshmadrishu. Adri means peak. On the peaks of these palaces or on the upper story, topmost story of these palaces, he found terraces for taking the moon or for enjoying the moon. Tilaka in his commentary has a different meaning for Chandrashala. He says the tops of these palaces had shalas or rooms which were paved with moonstones. So it is called a Chandrashala. This was his interpretation. Everybody else usually believes it is a terrace. That's it. Okay, I hope the meaning is clear. So even now, he's not stepped in. He's come into the quarters. He's seeing the buildings from outside. He's seeing massive halls. He's seeing massive spaces, principal armory houses. He's seeing beautiful terraces. Rachna, please ask.
Does this mean that it had more than one floor? Like,
yeah. Every you will very soon we will find the use of the word Vimana for the house, and there we will address one common confusion. Is he talking about Pushpaka Vimana or something else? That time I'll explain. Okay. Next term. There was something with my. Here we are. 50. No, one shloka we missed, no? No, we saw this, correct. Grihani nanavasuraditani. Grihani nanavasuraditani. Devasuraischapi supujitani. Devasuraischapi supujitani. Sarvaischa doshaiः परिवर्जितानि सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि together गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि. Okay, so Dadarsha, he saw. Kaha, Kapihi Dadarsha, the monkey saw. What did he see? Grihani Dadarsha. He saw some beautiful houses. Okay. So there are four attributes of the houses, each of which are given. Kapihi, Hanuman, Nana Vasurajitani. Nana different. Vasu, mineral wealth. It could be gold, precious stones. That is one meaning of Vasu. Vasu could also mean the different kinds of Aishwaryam. Sri Aishwaryam, okay, Dhana Aishwaryam, Dhana Aishwaryam, okay, Praja Aishwaryam, having good children, all kinds of Aishwaryam. So, Vasu Rajitane, glowing with all these treasures. That is one meaning. No, that is one adjective. Devasuraihi cha api supujitani. Every one of those houses was built by Ravana and his cohorts by stealing from the Devas. Correct? So obviously Devas are also, it is worthy of being worshipped by the Devas, and obviously the Asuras also. So Devasuraihi cha api supujitani. They are that auspicious and beautiful. And then Sarvaihi doshaihi parivarjitani. They were free from all defects. There were no defects in construction, no inferior materials used, no cheating done during construction. Okay, all the papers were also clear. It was on proper land only, no land disputes also. So it's all clear, all good, nice houses, no defects. However, the fourth one, no, is the place where Valmiki nicely gives one couched insult to Ravana. Swabala Architani. By his own strength, he has possessed these houses, or by their own strength, they have earned those houses. You and I will look at it and say, what is wrong? By our own strength only, we should earn our houses. That is only good to know. Correct. So if I bought a house with my own savings, I will be proud of it and say, Swabala Architani. But it is not, you should understand the word Bala very carefully. Bala is not your own savings. Bala, on the other hand, is your strength, domination, your cruelty, or whatever you have done to acquire those houses in whatever illegal way possible. So, Swabala Arjitani, earned through brute strength. That is obviously the insult that Valmiki has couched here in the fourth adjective for the houses. So, there is one shloka in Bhagavad Gita also which comes to mind. Anything we take as ours, right, is not only temporary, but it is also bad for us. Idam adya maya labdham, idam prapsye manoratham, idam asti idam api me vishyati punardanam. Asau maya hatashatrun, anishye chapranapi, ishwaro aham bhogi. Like this, if you have this attitude, I am the Lord, I am the Master, I own this, I got this, Balavanasmi, who is equal to me? All these, exactly, I always used to think when I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, the chapter of Ravana only. These exactly traits of Ravana which brought him down. So the same feeling, who is equal to me? That feeling when you have, and you say it is by my might that I possess these houses, we know what fate those houses will, or what fate the people who live in those houses meet. Okay, so Swabala Architani is the insult to Ravana here. Okay, so the main thing that we learn, just like we learn lessons from Hanuman, we learn lessons from the Asuras also. The lesson that we learn here is it is good to have money. Nobody can say that, it is wrong to earn money. It is dharmic to want to earn money for our purposes, whatever we need it for. But it is the attitude of earning, and more importantly, the attitude of spending the money, which is important. Correct? Even the attitude of giving. So we can learn from the asuras, especially in this particular shloka, what should be the attitude towards wealth. The purpose of wealth should not be to display it ostentatiously, but the purpose of wealth should always be dharmic. Right? When that is so, the wealth will last. We will also be happy. That is therefore one negative thing that we see, from which we can learn a very, very positive lesson. Right? Priyaji, your hand was raised. Did I miss
Ma'am, what Sarga is that Bhagavad Gita shloka, ma'am? Chapter, please tell me, ma'am.
17th Devasura Sampati Bhagya Yoga. 17th chapter.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
அதுல வந்து தைவாசுர சம்பத் விபாக யோகான all the daiva qualities and all the asura qualities will come, and this kind of ahambhava is one of the first things that Bhagavan says we must not have. It comes in the 17th chapter. I always used to wonder why shouldn't it come somewhere in the 3rd chapter only. So it's a very useful thing, and if you actually start shaping your attitude like that, it will actually stand us in very good stead in life, no?
Ma'am, does it have a follow-up shloka, ma'am? Like this will destroy you or something?
The whole chapter in context is a complete gem.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you want, like every chapter in Bhagavad Gita is a complete gem. But if you take 17th chapter also, and you take this particular shloka, you see it in context. It is a beautiful, life lesson. Not only in this particular thing of giving, taking, earning money, or of, of this ahambhava or anything. There are many, many points in that whole chapter that covers various, including food.
No idea, ma'am, but this shloka was needed for me today. I don't know, but thank you, ma'am. This was really needed. I need to quote it to someone, ma'am. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Parenting teenage children, no, is
not as a parent, ma'am, but like as a
friend or something. It's sure.
Yes,
but before we quote it to a child, we should be very careful.
Yeah, not for a child, ma'am, for a very well-grown person. Sorry to say that, but still, thank you, ma'am. This is a real lesson for me. I was totally motivated. Thank you.
Just to share, the whole reason why I am quoting with so much enthusiasm is because I have quoted so many times from it before, in so many contexts, with so many people.
Why should it strike me today, ma'am? Why should it strike me today? Because I needed it today. Thank you.
Okay, sure. So especially co-anyosti sadrishamaya, how many times I've told this, you won't believe. Anyway, not for myself, not to myself, but I have quoted this particular shloka hundreds of times. Okay. Tato dadash, oh no, I missed a shloka. Just a second. Tani prayatnabhisamahitani, Tani prayatnabhisamahitani, मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि, मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि, महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि, महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि, ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि, ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि, तानि प्रयत्नाभिसमाहितानि, मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि, तानि प्रयत्नाभिसमाहितानि, मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि, महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि, ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि, महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि, ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि. Together. तानि प्रयत्नाभिसमाहितानि, मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि, महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि, ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि. 17 sonena, 16 sonena, tell Lakshmi Priyaji, it is 16. Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yogaha is the name of the thing, 16th chapter. Okay. So now let's go to the meaning of this shloka. Tani prayatnabhi samahitani sakshat mayena nirmitani mahitale sarvagunottarani lankadhipatehe iva, sakshat mayena nirmitani iva Mahitale Sarvagunottarani Lankadhipate Grihani Tadarsha. So here also we have to add the Kartrupadam. Saha Hanuman Dadarsha saw. What did he see? Lankadhipater Grihani. The houses of Lankadhipati. Again reminding us that Lankadhipati Ravana's house was not one big palace like Mysore Palace. On the contrary, you can imagine one collection of buildings being constituting his palace. So Lankadhipatehe Grihani Dadarsha. What kind of Grihani? Prayatnabhi Samahitani. Like those of you who have built houses will know. Every aspect of the house you will carefully plan. Fittings from here, curtains from there, tiles from here, wall paint from there, kitchens from here. Imagine now for Ravana, for multiple houses with a lot of prayatna, lot of effort. Abhi Samahitani. It has been collected and placed with great care. So you can imagine that Ravana had a whole fleet of architects and interior designers doing the work for him. Okay, then Sakshat by Maya himself, Nirmitani, as if constructed by Maya himself. Okay, this phrase has an implication which I'll explain. Mahitale Sarva Gunottarani. Uttarani Gunani means auspicious, excellent qualities. Mahitale, on earth, something which possesses the most excellent qualities. That kind of a set of houses he saw. Okay, so now why the reference to Maya? We all know that in the previous Sargas we have seen who built the city. Unmuted. Who built the city? Shivagamiji.
Vishwakarma.
Vishwakarma is the architect of the Devas. Maya, who's Maya?
Architect of the Asuras.
So definitely you don't imagine these two architects doing one collaborative effort and creating one building for one thing for Ravana, right? So there is definitely, what is his meaning of Maya? Mayena Sakshat. Okay, so one Shiromani Tikakara says that although it is built by Vishwakarma, it appeared to have been built by Maya because of the amount of magical illusions and the kind of features that it possessed. Even though built by Vishwakarma, for Kubera, the place, probably by virtue of being inhabited by Ravana, you can imagine that subsequently he would have made some changes or whatever. So the place was originally itself built like that, with all these magical illusions, trapdoors, okay, and secret pathways, and also all the glamorous, beautiful aspects of construction. The other point of view is Bhushra Tikakara says, Govindaraja commentary says, Maya must have built this house after Ravana took over Lanka. Lanka belonged to Kubera, as built by Vishwakarma. This particular house was constructed by Maya. And either way, we can take it. It's an academic discussion, but still I thought I'll bring in both the points of view. Tato dadarshochritamegharupam Tato dadarshochritamegharupam Manoharam Kanchana Charurupam Manoharam Kanchana Charurupam Rakshodhipasyatmabalanurupam Rakshodhipasyatmabalanurupam Gruhottamam Hya Pratiruparupam Gruhottamam Hya Pratiruparupam ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम् मनोहरं काञ्चन चारुरूपम् ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम् मनोहरं काञ्चन चारुरूपम् रक्षोधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपम् गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम् रक्षोधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपम् गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम् Together. ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम् मनोहरं काञ्चन चारुरूपम् रक्षोधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपम् गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम् Tataha. We should add the words Hanuman Dadarsha. Tataha. Then Hanuman saw. What did he see? Uchrita Megha Rupam. Oh, Dadarsha is there. Sorry. Tataha Dadarsha. Tataha Hanuman we should add. Tataha Uchrita Megha Rupam. Manoharam. Kanchana Charu Rupam. Apratirupa Rupam. Atmabalanu Rupam. Rakshodhipatehe Grihottamam Tadarsha. Tadarsha he. He means indeed. He indeed saw. What did he see? Uchrita Megha. So what did he see? Grihottamam. This auspicious, the greatest of houses he saw. What was it compared to? All the other words are adjectives. Uchrita Megha Rupam. Appearing like towering clouds, which essentially meant all these houses had multiple stories. Okay, they all were touching the sky. Only if you touch the sky, you can look like a cloud. No, so touching the sky. Uchrita Megha Rupam. Uchrita means high up. Megha Rupam in the form of the cloud. Manoharam, captivating. Kanchana Charu Rupam. Charu, beautiful. Kanchana, golden. The golden, beautiful form. Apratirupa Rupam. Matchless. Pratirupa means having a match, something to compare. Apratirupa, not having anything to compare with. Apratirupa Rupam. Atma Balanu Rupam. Kasya Atma Balanu Rupam? Ravanasya. Whose Atma Balanu Rupam? Ravanasya. What does it mean? Atma Bala, his own might, worthy of being the residence of a mighty Rakshasa king. Atma Balanu Anurupam, worthy of being, the Rakshasa king's abode. Rakshodhipatehe, the Rakshasa kings, Grihottamam Dadasha, the Bhavana he saw. Now this is, he is now seeing the main palace, you can assume. Okay, so the main palace is appearing like a towering cloud and it is looking beautiful, studded with gold and worthy of Ravana's might. What is outside the main palace is taught. Mahitale Swargamivavatirnam. Mahitale Swargamivavatirnam. Shriyajvalantam Bahuratna Kirnam. Shriyajvalantam Bahuratna Kirnam. Nanatarunam Kusumavakirnam. Nanatarunam Kusumavakirnam. Girerivagram Rajasavakirnam. Girerivagram Rajasavakirnam. Mahitale Swargamivavatirnam. Shriyajvalantam Bahuratna Kirnam. Mahitale Swargamivavatirnam. Shriyajvalantam Bahuratna Kirnam. Nanatarunam Kusumavakirnam. Girerivagram Rajasavakirnam. Nanatarunam Kusumavakirnam. Girerivagram Rajasavakirnam. Okay, so together. Mahitale Swargamivavatirnam. Shriyajvalantam Bahuratna Kirnam. Nanatarunam Kusumavakirnam. Girerivagram Rajasavakirnam. Okay, so this is also a description of the main palace as he sees it from outside. Mahitale Avatirna Swargam Avatiranam Swargam Iva. On earth, Swarga, as if it had descended. Shriya Jwalantam, glowing with splendor. Bahuratna Kiranam, studded with many precious gems. Nana Taruna Kusumavakiranam Rajasa Avakiranam Girehe Agramiva. Tadarsha, we should add. Now the second part which I just told fast is the upama or the comparison. Here very clearly Eva is mentioned. Nana Tarunam Kusumavakiranam Rajasa avakiranam girehe agramiva. So this tall palace, which appeared as if it had descended from the skies, from Swargaloka, which was glowing with splendor, it appeared like the peak of a mountain. Girehe agram iva. What kind of a peak of a mountain? Agra means peak. Giri means mountain. Like the peak of a mountain. What kind of a peak of the mountain? Nana Taruna Kusumava Kiranam. On that peak, you should imagine many trees. Nana Taruna. Kusumava Kiranam. Those trees are covered by a carpet of flowers. Avakiranam, covered with flowers. Carpet of multiple flowers. And then those flowers are shedding pollen. Rajasa Avakiranam. So those pollen, dust which is there, is falling like snow, competing with the snow on the top of the mountain. So the whole thing is looking very, splendorous, and all the gems are being compared to the flowers. It seemed to be glowing like the top of a mountain. This is the comparison here. I hope the meaning is clear. If it's not, please ask. I'll repeat. Okay. I'll move to the next one. Nari pravekairabhidipyamanam. Nari pravekairabhidipyamanam. Tadidbhirambo ambodavadachyamanam. Tadidbhirambodav. Ambodavadachyamanam. Hamsapravaikairiva bahyamanam. Hamsapravekai iva bahyamanam. Shriyayutam khe sukritam vimanam. Shriyayutam khe sukritam vimanam. Nari pravekairabhidipyamanam. Tadidbhirambodavadachyamanam. Nari pravekairabhidipyamanam. Tadidbhirambodavadachyamanam. Hamsapravekairiva bahyamanam. Shriyayutam khe sukritam vimanam. Hamsapravekairiva bahyamanam. Shriyayutam khe sukritam vimanam. Together. Nari pravekairabhidipyamanam. Tadidbhirambodavadachyamanam. Hamsapravekairiva bahyamanam. Shriyayutam khe sukritam vimanam. So, Nari pravekaihi. Okay, the Darsha is added here. Nari pravekaihi dipyamanam. Nari, women. Praveka, foremost. Nari pravekaihi, with the foremost women. What does it mean? With a lot of beautiful, exquisite women. Dipyamanam, as if the place was lit up. So Ravana's palace seemed to be lit up with beautiful women. Taditpihi ambhodavat. Like, again, one more comparison Valmiki brings. These women are compared to the lightning, and the palace is compared to Ambodha. Ambodha or cloud. So the palace was glowing with beautiful women like a cloud glows with lightning. Okay, so this is the comparison here. Then Archyamanam, Hamsa Archyamanam, very worthy of being worshipped. Hamsa Pravekaihi, K means in the sky. Hamsa Praveka, we just saw Praveka foremost. Hamsa means swan. By the foremost swans, Vahyamanamiva. Vahyamanamiva. Okay, there are two Pathavedas here. Vahyamanam, Vahyamanam. If you take Vahyamanam, the meaning is as if carried by. Vahyamanam, as if it was being outside. It was just outside the palace. I'll explain. Shriya Yutam, endowed with auspiciousness. Sukritam, of great Punyashalis. Vimanam. Vimanam here has two meanings. One meaning is aerial chariot. The other meaning is any mansion with multiple stories. I'll explain the second level of comparison using the word Bahyamanam, then you will understand. So first line is clear, I hope. The place was glowing with many beautiful women, like how a cloud glows with lightning. First upama. Second, there is a subtle upama happening. The place, Shriyayutam Sukrutam Vimanam. Sukrutaha, worthy people. Second meaning of Sukrutaha, royal people, royalty. So when you take the meaning as Sukrutam Vimanam, those who have earned a lot of punya, when they leave this world, we say, no, Vimanam will come and take you. That Vimanam on which they go to Swargaloka, no. That Vimanam is called Sukrutam Vimanam, aerial vehicle. How is it? Shriyayutam. It is endowed with all splendor. Hamsa Pravekaihi Bahyavanam. So Hamsas or the swans appear on the outsides of the aerial chariot, appearing as if to lift it. Purely ornamental. Okay, so appearing as if to lift it. One meaning. This is the comparison made to Ravana's palace. Decorative swans appeared to be carrying that Vimana, which is very tall and appeared like an aerial Vimana itself. This is not a reference to Pushpaka Vimana. We must be very clear. Although the chapter name is Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam, that Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam happens later. As we have seen, the chapter title has Anvaya with the chapter plot only towards the latter half of every Sarga, as we have been noticing. Here also, the word Vimana very clearly refers to the palace, because Vimana has multiple meanings. One meaning is obviously the aerial chariot. The other meaning is a multiple storied mansion, 7 or 8 storied mansion. So if you see the classic commentators, they all say building of Ravana only. Okay, but if you see even Giri translation, I think says Pushpaka Vimana. Right? So be very clear, this is actually Ravana's palace. So how did Ravana palace, what is Ravana's palace being compared to? It's being compared to the palace which is fit for royalty. Here Sukrutam means royalty, is endowed with splendor, looks as if it is being carried or borne by swans. It appears like the Sukrutam Vimanam. There is a Vimana which is carrying the noble people up to heaven. Do you understand the comparison? So there is a subtle comparison in the second sentence. I hope the meaning is clear. If there's any questions, ask me if it was complicated. Okay, I'm moving forward. Rashnaji asked.
Ma'am, here K is sky.
Sky, in the sky, Saptami Vibhakti. Kha is the padam. यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रं यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रं यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रं विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रं यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातुचित्रं यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातुचित्रं यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रं ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रं टुगेदर यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातुचित्रं यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रं ग्रह again one more comparison ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रं युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं megha cloud chitra collection of colorful clouds yuktikrita megha chitram collection of colorful clouds yuktikrita means joined together, so many colorful clouds joined together with what? Graha Chandra Chitram, made colorful because of all the grahas, planets, Chandra, the moon, everything glowing. So sky, when you look up at the sky, how does it look? Colorful with all the planets and stars and the moon, no? That's how it is looking. Nabaha yatha, like how the sky appears. Bahuratna chitram, bahudhatu chitram, nagagram yatha. Like how nagagram, naga means mountains. Nagagram means peak of the mountain. What are the two words to describe the peak of the mountain? Bahuratna chitram, bahudhatu chitram. The peak of the mountain is colorful. Chitram means colorful. With what? Bahuratnas, many gemstones. Bahudhatus, many minerals. So the peak of the mountain, which is colorful with many dhatus and minerals, this is the second comparison. Vimanaratnam Dadarsha. The mansion of Ravana appeared. So the mansion of Ravana appeared. Two things we here understand from this. Mansion is really tall because the objects of comparison are the sky and the peak of the mountain respectively. The mansion is really colorful because in both the cases, the aspect of colorfulness is being emphasized with the use of the word chitram in both the comparatives. So what we understand is Ravana's palace was really very tall with more than 7, 8, 9, 10 stories, how many ever stories, maybe like Antilla, and then it was glowing with multiple lights all over the place. Okay, so this is the description of Ravana's palace with two comparatives. Mahikrita parvataraji Mahikrita parvataraji शैलाकृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः शैलाकृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः वृक्षाः कृता पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः वृक्षाः कृता पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम् पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम् महीकृता पर्वतराजिपूर्णाः शैलाकृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः वृक्षाकृता पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम् वृक्षाकृता पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम् टुगेदर महीकृता पर्वतराजिपूर्णाः शैलाकृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः वृक्षाकृता पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम्. So here the description of the place outside the palace. Mahikrita Parvatarajipurnaha. Mahi Parvatarajipurnaha Kritaha. Krita means that which is done. Any object that has been done. Kritam, that object. Mahi on earth. Parvatarajipurnaha. Filled with mountain. Sorry, Mahi is not on earth. Mahi is earth. Mahi Parvatarajipurnaha. Filled with collection of mountains. Kritaha. So the place was landscaped to show some beautiful hillocks. Shailaha Vrikshavitanapurnaha Kritaha. Now these mountains, Parvataraji has been created, no? On those mountains, Vishailaha, how were they? Vrikshavitanapurnaha. They were created with canopies of trees. So these mountains were not brown, dreary, boring looking mountains. But these mountains were also landscaped with beautiful trees. Then Vrikshaha Pushpavitanapurnaha Kritaha. These vrikshas which are there on these landscape mountains, the landscape trees on landscape mountains are covered with flowers. Okay. Then this Pushpam. Kesara Patrapurnam Kritam. Kesara Patrapurna refers to the filaments. Okay. The filaments carrying pollen. Even that is visible on those flowers. So essentially these are all artificial mountains, artificial trees, artificial flowers, artificial pollen filaments on artificial landscaped structure. Why so? Why like this? It is a landscaping done by Ravana out of interest. It's like an artificial landscape which looks very beautiful because the word Kritaha tells you it is man-made. Okay, it is not naturally growing mountain. The place is full of natural beauty anyway. Lanka has so much natural beauty. Despite that, there's a landscaped garden outside. Okay, so he's wonderstruck seeing all this, which is why Valmiki is noting it. He's like a chronicler of what Hanuman experiences and sees. So this is what he's noting. Shiromani Tikakara says, don't assume they are all just kritaha, just artificially landscaped mountains, trees, flowers, pollen dust, etc. Even that Ravana would not have left it plain. He would have covered it with gold, studded it with gemstones, and made it look shining, bright, and beautiful, just to say that, like my garden, there can be no garden in this world. So it is quite possible that that is the kind of landscaping that Valmiki was referring to. Unfortunately, the words Hema, Ratna Sama Kirana, those kind of words are missing, but he says that it can be very well like that. Okay. Very specifically, I found it a very funny line to read in the Bhashya. Okay. So now we come to the next shloka. With this we will start. Kritani Veshmani cha Pandurani. Kritani Veshmani cha Pandurani. Tatha supushpanyapi pushkarani. Tatha supushpanyapi pushkarani. Punascha padmani sakesarani. Punascha padmani sakesarani. Dhanyani chitrani tatha vanani. Dhanyani chitrani tatha vanani. Kritani Veshmani cha Pandurani. Tatha supushpanyapi pushkarani. Kritani Veshmani cha Pandurani. Tatha supushpanyapi pushkarani. Punascha padmani sakesarani. Dhanyani chitrani tatha vanani. Punascha padmani sakesarani. Dhanyani chitrani tatha vanani. Okay, now this also, everything Kritani only. Pandurani, Veshmani, cha Kritani. White houses, pleasure houses were built there. Okay, Tatha, likewise. Supushpani pushkarani cha punascha cha kesarani. Pushkarani Kritani. There were artificial lakes. On those artificial lakes, there were Supushpani Kritani, which had lot of beautiful flowers. Artificial lakes can be filled with real flowers. And then Punascha Kesarani. Those flowers in the artificial lake also had lot of pollen, filaments and everything were heavy filaments. Padmani, like this lotus, in the Pushkaras there were lotuses, Padmani, Tatha, Dhanyani Chitrani Vanani. Auspicious, beautiful, chitrani, colorful, vanani, man-made forests were there. Okay, because these two shlokas which talk about the landscaping of artificial mountains, trees, ponds, forests, etc., come at this portion of the Sarga, which is just before the sighting of the Pushpaka Vimana. We can assume that in the space between Ravana's main palace, which was described in Shlokas, let me clearly explain so that there will be no confusion, because you will find many places he's ascending the Pushpaka and descending the Pushpaka. Ascending the Vimana and descending the Vimana. In those cases, we must not think he's ascending Pushpaka Vimana and descending Pushpaka Vimana in all cases. Some cases it is the house, some cases it is the Pushpaka Vimana. So we must know. That is why I'm telling. Till Shloka number 8, the description was of the main house of Ravana. He has not put his nose into the main house of Ravana yet. He is only seeing. And then he walks around, surveys it. Before he sights the Pushpaka Vimana, he sees this landscaped garden. So 9 and 10 talk about that. And 11 will be the sighting of the Pushpaka Vimana. I hope the structure of the Sarga is clear. So 1 to 8 is description of Ravana's main palace and the allied palaces. Okay, so 11 onwards we will see in the subsequent sessions. We'll stop here.